Have you ever felt, completely stuck? Just caught in the same painful loops, reacting the same way to the same old triggers, and you just wonder why? Well, what if I told you those patterns aren't really you? What if they're just a program, and it's a program you can actually learn to rewrite? Let's get into it. It's kind of funny, but hundreds of years ago, Shakespeare pretty much nailed the most honest description of the ego you'll ever hear. He called it a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. Wow, that's a really powerful idea, and that's exactly where we're going to start, by trying to understand that voice in our head that thinks it's running the whole show. All right, for our first section, we're going to pull back the curtain. It's time to meet this invisible puppet master, this hidden force that so often dictates our thoughts, our feelings, and our actions. We're talking about the ego. So what is this ego really? First off, it's not some enemy we have to go out and slay. A better way to think about it is, it's the narrator of your life story. It's that voice in your head that's always saying, I am this, or I am that. It's basically a self-portrait we've been painting our whole lives. But the problem is, sometimes that portrait's frame can start to feel a whole lot like a cage. It seems like such a simple question, right? But it gets weird fast. It reminds me of Alice in Wonderland, when the caterpillar asks her, "Who are you?" And Alice says she doesn't even know anymore, because she's been so many different people just that morning. Well, turns out that's not just a fairy tale. That's all of us. And this is where the idea of a single, stable self kind of shatters. The truth is, we aren't one person. We're more like an ensemble cast of characters. You've got your confident I, your insecure I, the professional I, the goofy I, and they're all just taking turns running the show, hopping on the stage of your mind, a lot of the time without you even noticing the switch. Okay, so if we're a whole collection of different I's, then what decides which one gets the spotlight at any given moment? Well, the answer is in the ego's secret programs, this hidden software that's running in our subconscious 24/7. Just think about this story for a second. There's this super powerful CEO, right? In the boardroom, he's totally in command, decisive, authoritative, but then his phone rings. He sees it's his mother, and instantly he transforms. He becomes this anxious, obedient little boy just looking for her approval. It's the same person, but two totally different programs just got triggered by the situation. And here's the absolute key. That switch, it's not a choice he made. It's completely automatic. It's a mechanical reaction. See, these programs were installed in our subconscious a long, long time ago, based on our past experiences, and they just run. They run without our permission, dictating how we feel and what we do before we even have a chance to think about it. So let's look at exactly how this software gets written. It all starts with a past event. Let's say a dog bites you when you're a little kid. Your mind, in an attempt to protect you, writes a piece of code, a little unconscious program that says, all dogs are dangerous. From that day forward, that program runs automatically. Every single time you see a dog, even a tiny, friendly puppy, that old fear just gets triggered. That is a conditioned reaction. Now, these little individual programs, they're really just one piece of the puzzle. They're connected to something way bigger, something older, and honestly, a concept that gets misunderstood all the time: karma. Okay, when you hear the word karma, I want you to forget all the cosmic punishment and past life stuff for a minute. Let's reframe it. Think of karma as a kind of psychological inheritance. It's the emotional baggage, the fears, the anger, the anxieties that were passed down to you from your parents and from their parents before them. It's the programming you're born into. So this code we're running on, it wasn't just written during our own lifetime. It's written by our family history, by the culture we grew up in, by all the unspoken rules of our society. Your father's short temper or your mother's anxiety. Those aren't just personality quirks. They are literally lines of code that got passed down. And chances are you're running them right now without even knowing it. So the big question is, why do we hold on to these patterns, especially when they cause us so much pain? It's because they are familiar. Even if it's an unhealthy pattern, it feels safe, it feels known. It's like a stinky, worn-out old security blanket. Letting it go feels terrifying, like stepping off a cliff. So we cling to the misery we know. Man, this all sounds pretty bleak, doesn't it? Like we're just trapped by all these old programs from the past. But here is the good news. You are not a machine. So in this last section, we're going to talk about how to find the escape hatch, the path to breaking free from these automatic, painful cycles. First things first, let's just get the biggest misconception out of the way. So many people think the goal is to kill the ego, to destroy it. But that's a trap. You can't kill it, and you wouldn't want to anyway. The real path to freedom isn't through fighting it, it's through understanding it. The goal is to become the master of your programs, not to just hit delete. So how do you actually do this? What's the secret? It's one word: awareness. The next time you feel that old automatic reaction bubbling up, the anger, the fear, whatever it is, your only job is to notice it. That's it. Don't act on it. Don't judge yourself for it. Just watch it. Because in that simple moment of observation, you create a tiny little space between the trigger and your response. And in that space, that's where all your power is. That's your freedom. And this right here, this is the moment of liberation. When you see the old program running and you consciously choose to do something different, to take a deep breath instead of snapping back, to stay calm instead of panicking, you literally break the chain. You sever the connection to the past. And in that one moment of choice, that old karma, that inherited pattern, it just loses its grip on you. There's this incredible story about a student who wore this priceless, ancient necklace that had been in her family for generations. It represented her entire ancestry. Her spiritual teacher saw it one day and just said, "That thing is eating your energy." And then, in this totally shocking move, he ripped it right off her neck and threw it into a fire. It was a radical symbolic act about how sometimes we have to sever our ties to the inherited burdens of our past if we ever want to be truly free to be ourselves, right here, right now. So in the end, it really all comes down to a choice. Your choice. You can continue to linger in the familiar hell of your old, reactive patterns, just replaying the same stories again and again. Or you can choose to see the program for what it is. And by doing that, you can open the door to reality, to the incredible freedom and possibility of the present moment. So, which door are you going to open?